Naitwa Gacheru, but watu wananijua kama LG ama Sheik. The better part of my childhood ni grow up nikiwa Elbagon. Mimi grow up nikiwa na shida mingi sana, like tulikuwa na shida mingi kwetu. Unasikia ile story, unasikianga watu walikula shida na kijiko. Mostly tulikuwa tunakuwa na 1 meal a day na saa zingine hakuna. Going back kidogo nikiwa high school, nilisoma 5 years instead of 4 because I had to repeat at some point. Nilikuwa nimekosa fees. Nikiwa form 2 nilisoma first term, then I was sent home for school fees and upkeep ya shule na sikuweza kurudi. So nilitoka home one of the early morning. I woke up nikajiambia, manzi, let me try one more time, kwa sababu singepush wazazi wangu, singewapush hata kidogo mahali walikuwa, because I'm the first born. Nyuma yangu kuna watu 5. Hata kushinda nikiwaambia nirudisheni shule hai make sense, because tunatafuta meal, wanatafuta meal, at least 1 meal a day. So niliona sitaweza kuwa push. So I woke up one day nika decide nasikianga hii gava inasaidianga watu kusoma. So I was like, I went to the government offices, nikaenda kwa DO, nikamwexplainia story yangu, nikamwambia where I am, I'm at the verge of not going back to school again, and it wasn't my wish. Kaniambia hawasaidii mtu ako na wazazi wawili, like the help orphans ama. Nakumbuka I told her this will be the first case because I'm not taking an offer an answer. Yeah, and it happened. Akaniambia, it was on a Friday, I can never forget. It was on a Friday. Akaniambia, on Tuesday, come here with your 2 parents. So my mom came. Nikamwambia, wewe enda ujiongee. Mimi sikwenda kuwashtaki ati na ubaya. I went out to look for help because nataka kusoma. So my mom akaenda akajiongea, wakasikizana, and hata akapewa job ya kusafisha and all. Kulikuwa na food ya relief, akawa anapewa kidogo kidogo, so life ika improve kidogo. So I was sent back to school on bursary basis, but pesa having in mind it was end of year, hakukuwa bursary inatoka at that time. I had to wait till January. So niliandikiwa barua, nikarudi nayo shule. In principal was like, sasa umeleta hii barua tukusaidie aje? Nikamwambia that is the last thing I could have done, so nisaidie. Then nikawa ninalipiwa na bursary kidogo kidogo, nikifunga shule naenda na kufanya kazi kama house girl in the DO's house, ndo nipate at least ka transport na ka shopping kidogo. Na nakumbuka I used to buy the minimal things you could buy, then achia mawe hiyo ndo ingine. After nilimaliza form 4, I was quite sure sitaenda kupush mtu mwingine anisomeshe. So I was like, let's see how this life turns out. And I came to Nairobi, and bila kujua unaenda wapi. I came to my uncle's place, and of course nikauliza unakaa huko for how long? Nikasema 2 days. Then I had to move out after 2 days. I went to stay with a friend. Yeah, and I cleared when I was 17. So by that time I was 18. I got married at 19. Very young, I know, not knowing anything. Moved to Mombasa with my hubby, who was a doctor at Coast General. We got a baby, my daughter. She's now 10. Then my hubby got sick, alipata heart condition, heart yake ilifura, and he passed on. It was, I think, that is the worst thing I've ever experienced. Yeah. He was sick for 6 months in hospital. And I was only 24 years. Because tulikaa naye 5 years. Sikuwa najua what to do and what not to do. Then he passed on. Tulimit mahali nilikuwa nafanya kibarua ya kuuza industrial chemicals. Yeah, and he was also an entrepreneur. He was doing the same business apart from working. So yeah, tulipatana hivyo, and he seemed a good guy and he was a good guy, so nikaitikia kumove naye. Now, when he passed on, I think that is where all my problems started, and because looking back in my circle, no one thought maybe I needed counseling or therapy or anything. Having been the strong me, nimekuwa yule mtu wa kusort watu, ni mimi ninapea watu moyo, let's do this. So kuna mtu by the way had come through like, this woman needs some therapy, some help. Watu walikuwa zile za, you can do this, it's okay, he's in a better place. I went down like it was, when I realized now he's gone. He was my best human. Tulikuwa tunaketi tunaongea. We were buddies apart from being husband and wife. And I was now left in this world all alone. All my friends deserted me. Mimi nilibaki peke yangu, sina hata marafiki. We all went. Simu yangu haikuwa inapigwa na mtu. I started drinking proper. Number one, sikuwa nimeweza kumove out of the house we were living in. Sikuwa na funds. So I had to deal with that. Na kuna venye ningeingia kwa hiyo nyumba nikiwa sober. So nilikuwa narauka mapema, naenda job, nafanya job. Nikifunga job by 6, off to bar. Kwa kiti. Nilikuwa nalala kwa kiti, sikuwa naingia bedroom. Hiyo bedroom niliingia once, nikatoa vitu zangu zote nikaleta sitting room. So I used to use bathroom ya mgeni, shower and all, and that's it. For the next like 3 months in that house. At that time nikapeleka mtoi wangu huu akaenda mahali so that I can hustle back. And it was terrible. Having no one to talk to, and asubuhi nikiamka navaa smile kama makeup. Na smile the whole day. Ikifika usiku mimi na kulia na kufikiria ndoa. But I used to have that brave face like, it's okay. People are saying it will be okay, so it should be okay. And it will be okay. So later, I met with this other guy. I think, unaona hiyo desperation ya kukaa na mtu anataka kukusikia, eh? Mtu tu akusikize. Si ati hata unataka akupea advice. Uongea tu itoke. So I met this guy mwenyewe, he was just there, ananisikiza. Nampea stories of my hubby, how he used to love me, how we used to love each other, venye aligonjeka, and how he passed on. So the guy was just there, ananisikiza, tunaongea, tunakata drink, coffee, akona time yangu. So I got into him like, I didn't even know whether it was love or kaujinga fulani. but naweza sema ni desperation ya kukosa mtu wa kuongea naye. And that is how I got my second born. I didn't realize, at first you don't realize if you have some weaknesses and you have some emptiness in you. So for me I thought, ni mapenzi. Yeah, shock on me it wasn't, and he just wanted me to drop everything I was doing. Kitambo nishtuke life yangu imekuwa aje, nilikuwa sina marafiki, nilikuwa sifanyi job, nilikaa tu kwa hao. And by that time nilikuwa na burden bado ya kusomesha my brothers and sisters. So hiyo nilipush, nika-realize this is not the life I want. I want to get out and do something for myself. Yeah, so I got out of that relationship. Hakunionyesha madharau hata kidogo. I think there are different type of obsession or something. For him hakuwa anataka nifanye anything, nikae kwa nyumba. He used to provide everything. Niki-mention tu I need something inaletwa. But sikuwa na freedom, sikuwa naweza hata kwenda kwa duka. Kama ni shopping, lazima nimngojee jioni, akuje akitoka job tuende shopping. And tukimit, mimi ni ule mtu bubbly. I used to travel, I used to have lots of acquaintances. I'm an outgoing person, mimi ni mtu wa all over. Like I love being with people. Years later, my granny, ambaye ni alinilea up to when I was around 8-9. So my shosho has been that person. Mwenye tulikuwa tunasikizana, yani hakuna mtu, sidhani kuna mtu anaweza karibia. Would have open conversations, everything. Ni mtu mwenye nilikuwa na feel hadi judge, and she was there for me. So she passed on, and that hit me a good one. The same thing happened. I really wanted to talk about my social, and this time I wanted to talk about her with people who knew her. So my family and all, I think walikuwa wanadhania niko na obsession na huyo shosho yangu. So everyone was like, shosho alikuwa mgonjwa na alikuwa miaka yake imefika, so just let her be. Wacha rest. And those words hurt. I wish mtu akifiliwa, if you have nothing to say, usimwambie anything. Sikuja kumwambia ati someone is in a better place. Who knows? Kuna mtu ashaienda that better place, akarudi akatuambia it's a better place. So those words hurt. So I tried to cope with that again. This time I didn't drink as much, but nilikaa kwa nyumba for 1 week without getting out of my bed. I shut all my social media. Mabeshte zangu wakarealize, oh damn, ako off, what's happening? So some came to my house, and I had some upcoming events. So they were worried, what's happening? I don't want to talk. They came. When you were in kwa hiyo mlango, I was all bubbly. Tukacheka, hata tukaenda out, tukagrab ka drink, and wakaenda home wakifikiria ako sawa. So I had an upcoming event. We were going to Kampala, a 4-night trip. Nikafanya trip, ikakuwa successful, tukaenda. But by this time, nilikuwa sasa silali, sina usingizi. Usingizi haikuji kabisa. Najaribu kujitibu na Piriton's, imekataa. Najaribu kujitibu na nini, nakataa. Nothing was working, but sikuwa nalala. And now sasa I had these moods on and off. So by this time I was having extremes, like I would have this massive energy. Nitafanya kila kitu, nitasort watu from this corner to that corner, and it made me feel good instead of being on the other side of watching. Then I would flip within a second and I don't want to do anything. Hata ku engage in conversations, niko tunaangalia. I'm having the conversation in my head but I don't want to talk. I don't have the energy and all. So when tulienda kwa hiyo trip, I remember that is the first time I recorded not sleeping for 3 nights straight. Hapo ndo vitu zilienda south, down south kabisa. Cause nilirudi and it happened, like the same thing happened. Mwenye niliingia hivi kwa nyumba sikutoka for the next 1 week. Na sikutoka hata kwa kitanda. Sikukula, sikuenda washroom, sikufanya anything. The first few days I wasn't responding to calls and all. Then nikaona watu wananipush sana, so nikazima simu. Some friends wakakuja, wakanitafuta, wakakuja. Sikuwa naweza kufungua mlango. But I would hear kuna watu wananiita kwa umbali. Wakaongea na mwenye nyumba was living just nearby. Kamwambia wanataka kuvunja gate. They want to check whether I'm in. Because kuna mtu anajua ni kwa. Then they went. Wakatoka wakaenda. One of them was going to report. Mwingine aombe ruhusa job wakuje wanitafute. For some reason nikafungua simu. Nikakuta miss call mingi. Then wakaona I tried calling you. Hawakunipigia hata simu, walinidropia tu message, shiko niambia mahali uko kwa nyumba, and I responded. So they opened the house, and that is the very first time I saw a psychiatrist. Mimi nilikuwa nakaa kakitu tu funny. So mtu hajaoga for 5 days. Mtu hajakula. So it was evident I wasn't going to see your normal doctor. You could tell this is depression. So each time yote, it was evening by that time, tukaenda nikaona daktari. Then I talked about it and what I've been feeling, how I felt. Sijui what changed. Sasa nikatoka saidia kukuwa depressed na kufeel sad and horrible and all of a sudden I was hyper. Manze watoto wa watu nimewatesa hiyo usiku. Mwambia kuna kwenda home, mimi sijisikii kwenda home. Tunaenda tu grab a drink. Na mbona wameambiwa siitikie ni kunywe drink. But sasa what to do? Mtafanya nini na huyu mtu? Around 6 am ndo nikafeel. Around 5 nikamwambia sasa na feel kwenda kulala. Mind you nimepewa ile dawa, hasn't worked. Nikamwambia twende home, nataka kulala. But hata venye nilienda home sikulala. Ni ile tu fatigue, nimejiekelea kwa kitanda, but na feel wakiongea nakumbuka I could hear them wakiwa sitting room like, oh finally, like fuchs. Asubuhi imefika. Nikaamka and they were like, hawajui kama nitaitikia kwenda hosi. Najua ukiambia mtu anaenda mental hospital, anaenda kuadmitiwa. So walikuwa na hiyo, ataitikia ama atakataa, itakuwa aje, tutahandle aje. But I hear all the conversation. Niko tu nasikia wakiongea na then woke up nikamwambia tamsikia na issue I'll go. Na ilikuwa nishaanza kukua, I would say addict wa pombe. Because all this time nilikuwa nakunywa and I'm okay. Hata ukiniangalia huwezi notice. So I think nilikuwa nimeingia hiyo, mwili ilikuwa imeingiana na pombe. So I drank, then nikapata kwa hosi, nikaadmitiwa. I had to do detox ya pombe, then nianze medication. And I used to document my day every day on Facebook. After staying there for a week or so, I was diagnosed with bipolar type 2. Bipolar is a mood disorder. It's something you could live with, na isiku affect like forever kama utakuwa na those triggers. But when you have those triggers, ina come out, and that is when you realize there is a problem. Haina kiwa, number one. You only manage. Una manage na madawa, therapies, and some other. You just come up with coping mechanism and how to manage the situation. Personally, mi si mtu wa madawa, sipendi dawa. I have to take this mood stabilizers and all kila siku. I have to work with them. Mi ni mtu wa kutembea. As I told you, I'm into tours and travel, so I have to work with my meds. Like bag yangu ya kusafiri lazima ikuwe na dawa ziko hapo forever na za home, because I can't afford to miss. Depression is not your normal bad day. It is not. Sio unamkanga unasikia la sitaki kuongea na watu. No, it's more than that. It's actually deep. Like I love smiling a lot. Sana. And when I'm depressed, even the muscles to smile don't cooperate. Like I can't even smile. Hata kusema anything funny or anything, ama nifanye kitu, I succeed, but I'm in that depressed state, hakuna kitu ina making sense. So it's horrible. And that is the very first time I tried to take my life. It was in December 2019. Yeah. Niliingia depression for almost a month. Kidogo kidogo, then it was singeweza. Na nilikuwa nimemask. That one, hungejua. If we are going somewhere, na make sure tumemaliza hiyo shughuli, I go back to the house. It's the first time I felt so suicidal. And I struggled with that feeling for almost a week. And that very day, it was 14th of December. Niliamka nikiwa hosi. And I didn't know whether I wanted to live or die at that time. But with the help of my dog and therapist, I got back. And nikamua kuongea about it. It was like, if this is me who is feeling this, ni watu wangapi huku nje wenye hawaongeangi? So I started a campaign and shedding mental illness. And how am I coping? By my medication, checking out on triggers. I make sure I keep my triggers at bay, and my medication and therapy. Yes, and more so talking about it. I think it feels like therapy to me when I educate people about mental illnesses. Familia yangu wako wanajua exactly what's happening. Like, tuombe ni kurogwa ni nini, unajua. Then we had to do family therapies, and they had understood, and they have been supporting me a good one. In depression, like I said earlier, see your normal bad day. It is when you're sad for more than a week, and you, number one, you feel fatigue. You're either going to sleep a lot, or rather ukose usingizi kabisa. Eating sana beyond how you eat, ama pia ukose kukula kabisa. Those are abnormalities. Ingine is when you're sad for more than a week. If you're in that state, I would say you need help, a professional help. Ukiketi chini na therapist, atapick vitu from the way I respond. Kuna swali utauliza like I feel sad about it, naongea nikilia, zingine I'm bubbly, zingine I'm angry, I'm using words which are not very polite. So they pick, and by the end of that session utatoka ukijielewa sana. Where I sit now, najielewa sana 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 sana. It's a very big challenge. Number one, I have bills to pay. The normal bills kila mtu ako nazo, ulipe nyumba, upe watoi food, na muishi a decent life. On top, I have bill ya hosi. Dawa zangu in a month zinaenda 10 to 15k for me to be stable, for me to work, kustabilize mood zangu, niamke nikiwa na furaha, cause I have my kids here, they need to see a happy mom, so I need to work extra hard. So I do tours and travel, and I also do consultancy for the tours too, for the solo travelers and all. I make itineraries, and it is not all fun and games. Sometimes siwezi kufanya kazi, sometimes even for a month. That means I won't be able to pay my bills. But siwezi kaa niseme because I'm sick I won't work, I won't be able to give my kids a decent life. Like I won't live, even myself I won't live a decent life, I won't be a human. No, hizo ni vitu tu zimekuja na ziko hapo. I have to deal with that, then I have to live. But sometimes I can't even do anything. Naamka nimeboeka. So what I do, I have a few friends in my circle, 2 or 3. They have been with me in hospitals, they have seen me suffer, they have laughed with me, they have seen me win, so they push me. They're like, Shiko, sijaona ukipost. Shiko, upcoming trips, umepush, umepata watu, inakuwa aje, kuna job hapa. So they push me, and that is how basically I survive. I love traveling a lot. Apart from working in travel and tours, I love traveling. So I want to see more. I want to see more different cultures. I want to visit maybe 100 countries before I hit 50. And I also want to see my kids growing. I want to see how they turn out to be. And I love life. I wouldn't advise on alternative because I don't know if there is. But when we started the campaign, we were to push and see whether we can get affordable medicines. Yenye sijui kama tutaifika hapo. Gava ili introduce what do we call it? Sasa hizo ndizo side effects za long term use of medicine. Kusahau. Hey, unasahau sana. So they introduced a task force to deal with mental illnesses and health. And I hope they are working towards kuleta subsidized meds and all. But kwa saa hii, Madari Hospital are offering, I think they are the cheapest, cause kuona daktari ni 500 bob. Yeah, pale. Kitu yenye huwezi pata dawa zote hapo. So hata ukipewa dawa kidogo, you need to source some other meds out. And the medicines are very expensive. Na watu wengi ni wagonjwa sana huku nje. So watu wanajaribu tu kukopa. Wanaishi tu. Kama unakosa usingizi, unajaribu kunywa dawa zenye utaweza. Wengine wana abuse dawa, that is why unakuta watu wengine wanaingia into drugs, wengine alcohol, just to survive. Na wengine wanakosa dawa, inakuwa aggravated, inakuwa more. So unakuta huyo mtu badala apone na naishi maisha yake venye inafaa kuishi, anakuwa worse. Mental illness is just like any other illnesses, and people should stop like encouraging people to stop taking their meds. And there is this pill shaming, like unakuta watu wenye watu wanakunywa dawa za mental illnesses, they hide so much. And people know you're taking mental illnesses pills, there is always that, and they look at you with a, like you're not a functional human being. So mental illness, all of them, it's just like any other illness. Ni kama kuumwa na kichwa and you need to take a pill. Like I said earlier, kuna ma friends zangu wameniita tunaketi and they're like, sasa Shiko, utakunywa hizi dawa mpaka lini? That is pill shaming. Wengine they're like, don't you think it's something you can control? Just snap out of it. It's not something you can snap out of it. It's a disease. Mtu amekatwa mguu unaweza mwambia amka utembee wewe, snap out of it. Just because it is not visible doesn't mean it's not there. It's there. So nimeface stigma na I don't dwell much in it. Nakuanga na hiyo kufikiria ni kwa sababu they don't know how it feels to be in that state. So I don't like judge them very much. Mtu akiniambia kitu na feel ni offensive, I try and educate them. The reason nilitoka into that field of industrial chemicals, it's because I really wanted to forget about, to move out of that space of remembering my hubby and all, because we were doing that together and he had supported me a big deal in it. So when I decided this thing is too much, it felt like a trauma. Unajua ile kitu sayoto inakukumbusha. So I just decided to lean on the tours and do something I loved. Sijaienda job nikiwa gloomy. I'm always excited. I think it's because I love doing that. So I'm always excited and to meet people, learn new things. Even when I feel like this is not it, I psych myself up. And watu wanapenda mahali niko, mimi hata nikisema hiyo trip ninatumana hawataki kuenda. So people love my energy and I like it. All you can do is take care of yourself. If you get to know you have a condition, take care of yourself. Keep away from your triggers and just live. If you need to take your meds for you to see tomorrow and be happy and do your life, go for it. This one, he ni very memorable. Find your greatness. It's a run ilifanyika Kenya. A friend of mine who is called Monyaka alienda for the run. Nilikuwa hosi at this particular moment. So alikimbia 21 km with my name on his bib. Yeah, so alinipea kama gift. Wow. This is Alliance Classic Run. I was helping a friend who was organizing the run. So we did the run in prep. Hii ni 5 km. Hii kona, I love this one, I think. This run happened in Kampala. Nilikuwa nimepeleka my friends who are runners, recreational runners, kwenda kukimbia. Hii ni ya Tigoni Trail Run. This is 2018. This was how many kms? 21 kms. Pedal Mania, May 2019. This for cycling. The first and the only race I've participated. But I love cycling a lot. So yeah, so I got myself a medal for cycling. maisha, just live, go for it.